space scientists have discovered just how much they can accomplish when they work together, with incredible feats achieved this year through collaborations with commercial industry and foreign nations. Successful partnership in 2022 have included the launch and calibration of the most powerful space telescope in the world and photographing the never-before-seen supermassive black hole at the center of the Milky Way galaxy. Here's everything you need to know about the space exploration, NASA missions, and space tourism that made news in 2022. But before that, don't forget to subscribe to Oneindia. Number 1. NASA's Artemis 1 mission around the moon. NASA's Artemis 1 mission had considerable trouble getting off the ground in 2022 due to leaks in the Space Launch System rocket and 2 hurricanes that swept through Florida. But once the rocket took off on November 16th, everything went exactly as planned. The massive rocket lofted the Orion spacecraft and easily sent it onto the moon for a distant retrograde orbit, meaning it was far from the moon and flying opposite to the direction of the moon's rotation. Orion spent 25.5 days live streaming the footage from the deep space before finishing off its mission with a re-entry and splashdown in the Pacific Ocean within sight of its recovery ship. Number 2. New moon distance record by Orion. The uncrewed Orion spacecraft not only opened the door for more Artemis missions, but it also set a key record of its own. On November 26th, the human-rated vehicle flew past the record-setting distance achieved by the Apollo 13 crew of 3 astronauts in April of 1970. Apollo 13's crew had actually set the record by accident. They had been set to land 2 astronauts on the lunar surface in the Fra Mauro Highlands. But a spacecraft emergency forced the mission to redirect to a flight around the moon and to fly back home again for a safe splashdown on April 17th of 1970. Number 3. James Webb Space Telescope opens for business. The launch and subsequent operation of the James Webb Space Telescope is one of the most exciting scientific events in decades. Although this first year of operation was only the beginning, but it has already contributed to many scientific discoveries. When Webb was launched on Christmas Day of 2021, it was the culmination of decades of work by NASA scientists and engineers. The launch went off without a hitch, as did the numerous steps of the telescope's deployment in the following months. In mid-July, Webb released its stunning first images. In future, this telescope will help us see almost every part of our universe in greater detail, including the most distant galaxies, allowing us a glimpse into the past. Number 4. Ingenuity Mars helicopter sets distance and height flight records. The Ingenuity helicopter on Mars was one of the unexpected highlights of the larger Perseverance rover mission that landed in Gale crater in February of 2021. Ingenuity was the first ever drone to fly on Mars and was only rated to last for 5 flights. But it is now shooting for 40 flights and is still going strong, collecting promising samples that may host life for eventual return to Earth. Ingenuity set both distance and altitude records in 2022. Number 5. First TickTock from space from astronaut Samantha Cristoforetti. Astronaut engagement expanded to a brand new platform in 2022 when the European space agencies opened a TickTock account and began posting from orbit in May. In the 88-second TickTock video, Cristoforetti introduced viewers to the SpaceX Crew 4 launch that brought her to the ISS and showcased a plush turtle named Zippy and a stuffed monkey called Etta that served as zero-G indicators on the mission. Cristoforetti used her limited spare time to connect with the public frequently, wearing numerous cosplay costumes, doing yoga, and taking frequent pictures that she posted on her Twitter account. Number 6. China expands Tiangong Space Station. The China National Space Administration, which operates independently of the international space community due to a US ban on bilateral work with NASA, had been building its Tiangong Space Station in 2022. The station is modular, much like the ISS, and now includes a core module and 2 laboratories. The country plans to keep Tiangong running for at least a few years and hopes to keep it permanently staffed with taikonauts, a name used for Chinese astronauts, and perhaps host commercial missions as well. Number 7. SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket flown for a record 14 times. SpaceX was one of the first companies to use rocket reusability, and in 2022, it tied its record of 14 launches for a single booster. Lately, SpaceX has been live streaming most of those landings using live cameras on the rocket or at the landing site. The record time 14th mission took place on October 8th when SpaceX sent 2 commercial communication satellites to orbit. The Falcon 9 used on that mission successfully sent the Intelsat Galaxy 33 and Galaxy 34 satellites to orbit before the first stage came back to Earth. These were some of the major achievements in the field of space this year. We hope you would like this new video. Thank you for watching.
Subscribe to One India channel and never miss an update.